So for the longest time, I've wanted to build a smokeless fire pit. And about 6-8 months ago, somewhere around there, I had to replace the pressure tank for my well. If you live out in the country like we do, you don't have city water. You have a well that pulls out of the ground and then it fills a pressure tank. Anyway, that's besides the point. I didn't throw it away because I was like, I think I could use that for something. And this was kind of my idea. So let me show you what I got. So this is my, used to be a pressure tank and now it's a smokeless fire pit. So I'm gonna try to explain in the simplest way how this actually works and why it's smokeless. So basically what I did was I cut the middle section out of the, let's see if we can do this before the weather gets here. Anyway, so basically I cut the top off of the tank and then I cut a circle out of the top of it, and that's where the fire actually comes out. And then these little slashes along the side, I just used a cutoff wheel on an angle grinder to do that. And so basically what it does is the bottom of this right here is open. So the air comes in through the bottom, goes up the middle, there's kind of a channel there, and it comes out of those grooves. And I guess with the air being heated from traveling up in that groove, it comes out the top and it burns the smoke that would otherwise be coming out of the top. So that is the simplest, easiest way that I can think to describe it. But I'm planning on building another one of these in the future, so I'll try to do a kind of step-by-step video. But let's see if we can make a fire that doesn't smoke before the rain gets here. Let's do this. Okay, so there is the fire pit, and it's pretty much mostly pine straw. There's a few random sticks and stuff from the pines back there, but let's get it lit. It'll smoke for a minute, and then it just stops altogether because once it warms up, that's when you get that secondary burn. So let's see. So there it is. It's just barely lit. It's starting to burn now. There will be smoke until it actually starts to warm up, but I'll show you what it looks like once it's actually good and hot. So while that's warming up, the reason I decided to build this is just because I said we like to have fires and stuff, which it's already, all the smoke's already gone, but I've always wanted to build one of these because they are very expensive. I priced them out a bunch of times and they're expensive for what they are and for what they do. But like I said, there's no smoke. So it's pretty awesome, but and I built it for free. So granted, yeah, I had to buy a cheap welder, which I bought one for a project. You can kind of see the smoke on the inside. So yes, I had to have a cutoff wheel and an angle grinder, and then the welder to weld it back together. But the welder was really cheap. Got it on Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I just kind of taught myself how to weld with that. And it works great. I mean, there's no issues with it. We haven't actually used it yet other than just here the other day after I got it built. But yeah, it works great and I'm happy with it. So there's a little bit of smoke that'll come out every once in a while. These smokeless fire pits, they're not entirely smokeless. And it's kind of windy right now, but every once in a while you get a little puff of smoke that comes out. But for the most part, the smoke is non-existent. The smell of the smoke is not really there because it's all burning off. It's got a secondary burn is basically how they describe it. I guess I should have taken it apart before I lit a fire in it so you could see, because it's actually two pieces. Let me try to explain it as good as I can. So this outside piece here, like I said, that was the top that I cut off and then cut a hole in the top. And these these pressure tanks, they have baffles inside of them. So the basin, or the base basically, is one of those baffles that I cut out, and then the inner wall is just another section of the side, just like this, that I cut, and then I cut about 3 inches out of it and pulled it together and then tack welded it back. That way the diameter would fit inside of this one. And then from there, I welded that to the base, or the baffle, or whatever you want to call it. And those legs, those are actually just some old pieces of a deer feeder that the legs I'd cut up because I didn't need it anymore. But yeah, so that's the simplest way to explain. You can see that seam right there where I tacked it back together. But that's the simplest way to explain how this thing was actually constructed. So if you're interested in how that was built, I'm gonna do a DIY kind of step-by-step video here soon, I think. I've got another one, and I've got what's left of the pressure tank sitting over by my barn. So I'm gonna make another one, and I'll do kind of a step-by-step video explaining things more thoroughly, so keep an eye out for that. But either way, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this, or don't, whatever you want to do. But either way, we'll see you on the next one.